Good evening, it's Monday and welcome to the Diamond Newsdesk. Today we bring you some of the latest stories featured on diamondtvzambia.com, but also we ask you to follow us on our Facebook platform and on X at Diamond TV Zambia. Now the headlines. They took my land, my wife, and my life. Ballaston farm owner breaks silence on an eight-year ordeal. And a poor sanitation lead to closure of Chopi's supermarket in Mansa. Dirty water continues to affect Mazabuka and surrounding areas, and residents demand action from the water utility.
The Newsdesk at 8 with Cheswa Kapasa.
Just in time for our 8 p.m. live broadcast this evening. In a harrowing tale of loss and injustice, Lusaka's Ballaston Park farm owner Webster Muhango has broken his silence on how his land was violently seized 8 years ago by alleged Patriotic Front members. He recounts that the attack, during which his wife was threatened with rape while defending their property, ultimately led to her death. Mr. Muhango, who last week reclaimed the land through a court order that saw over 20 families evicted, says the trauma of the day has shattered his life, robbed him of his marriage, estranged him from his children, and left him bitter at a system that allowed big people to invade without paying a single kwacha. Authorities, including the Lusaka District Commissioner, Disaster Management Mitigation Unit, and the Council, are now seeking a lasting solution as the displaced families camp at Diana Kaimba Primary School.
Now, because of that, I stay alone.
They took his land, they took his wife, and in his own words, they took his life. For Ballaston Park farm owner Webster Muhango, the battle to reclaim what was his began 8 years ago when alleged Patriotic Front members invaded his property. When his wife tried to intervene, they threatened to rape her. She collapsed and never recovered. Mr. Muhango says the pain of that day still burns. He cannot remarry. His children no longer live with him and the memories haunt him.
I was just stubborn. And during the process, when I went out myself, they came to get my fruit, my guavas, wakazonga wakambepo, atua you, we're going to rape and beat you up. My wife had happened, BP shot up, she collapsed. Few days, taken to hospital. UTH, Lemonawasa, came back. That was it. That's why I'm single now. And from that time to now, I'm still a virgin. No appetite for anything. I can look at the beautiful woman, but still I don't have that eager because it is so painful. It's too painful with me. It's not an easy thing, madam.
Yes, I know.
Yes. Somebody grabs your land, then he wants to rape your wife, and she dies. Because he in bomb.
District Commissioner in company of officials from DMMU, Resettlement and the Council have toured the properties.
This government, under our President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, he doesn't like such things. This is the reason why you have seen most of the cadres, they are crying foul to say, no, we are what. It's because he has said no.
Amen.
To violation of any person.
Yes.
If they are found, this is the reason why you see they are crying to say we are on our own, we are what? Because he doesn't tolerate this. And this, I think what the court has done, we feel bad that some families have been thrown out, but all the same, we feel good that you have gotten your property back. But as government, we are going to see how best we engage with you, we see how best we can come to conclusions so that we agree what the way forward should be.
And the affected residents have since been addressed.
Just be neutral. If you're military, to artificial. Tizichefe pamwana timbere pozichefe tizimvere timbere mwamene bazatira kila because even him he knows that up to now you are still pursuing to say Bamuhango at judging along. He even knows, which I said no Bamuhango, you are a parent. Let me first meet those people so that timbere mwamene bazatira kwati whenever come here. So now I come here, I find the true story to say, you are still saying, no, Bamuhango, Banaigula, Jalan, previously. Why wanna? Have you seen it? Bakambera for Chizawa.
Last week, after a protracted legal fight, the courts finally ruled in his favor, ordering the eviction of more than 20 families from the land. But as those displaced families now sheltered at Nakaimba Primary School, authorities are working to find a lasting solution. For Mr. Muhango, however, no ruling, no order, and no official promise can restore the life he lost. Victoria Kayeye Yambani, Dama News.
Chopi's supermarket in Mansa district has been shut down for failing to meet sanitary regulations. The closure follows a court order issued by the subordinate court after the supermarket did not address nuisances required by law and to the satisfaction of the Mansa Municipal Council. The council had earlier issued an ultimatum to the supermarket after complaints from nearby residents about effluent discharge from the premises. The further details are in this report.
The Mansa Municipal Council has indefinitely closed the Mansa Chopi's supermarket after it failed to address sewer effluent discharge into the public in Mansa's Chabalamoe area. 19 days earlier, the council had issued a 7-day ultimatum directing management to construct an additional soakaway pit, dislodge and unclog the existing septic tanks, and thoroughly disinfect the affected area. Despite the 3 prior cautions from the council, the situation remained unchanged, forcing the closure.
After the expiration of the ultimatum, we did conduct another follow-up inspection and established that they had not complied. The nuisance was not addressed. We also gave them a period to address the nuisance, and on 6th August, again, when we came back for a follow-up inspection, we discovered that the nuisance was not addressed. Then a 24 hours ultimatum was issued for them to address the nuisance, and they still did not comply. So as of today, we appeared before the subordinate court, and a court order of closure was obtained with the view that the nuisance is abated. So that's why we came here and issued the summons for them to appear in court on Monday, but we have closed the premises.
Business operations came to a halt, with workers caught by surprise, though supervisors had been aware of the warnings. It is posing a risk on us customers who buy a lot of foodstuff from the supermarket.
We can also get sick because feeding risk inside.
Local traders are now calling for swift intervention to restore normal business activity. We hope everything can be resolved. We rely on selling bread from Chopi's. The supermarket authority should consider charging the use of the convenience rooms. The free access is making it worse. Anyone is walking in at any time, any point, and leaving the mess there. The case stands as a stark reminder to all businesses of the need to comply with public health and environmental regulations to avoid costly disruptions. Kalombe Kapambwe, Damo News.
Residents of Mazabuka and surrounding areas are concerned about the ongoing supply of dirty brown water from the utility Southern Water and Sewage Company, SWASCO. They report health issues like diarrhea among children and blame broken pipes and supply interruptions for the problem. Despite SWASCO's claims that the water is safe, residents and health officials remain worried and are demanding urgent action to resolve this issue.
Residents of Matabuka district in Southern Province have raised serious concerns on the dirty and brown water being supplied by Southern Water and Storage Company SWASCO. The concerned residents are calling on the utility company to urgently improve the quality of water being supplied. We are facing a serious water challenge in this area due to the presence of dirty particles in the water. This is largely because water is rarely supplied by the utility company. And this resident has appealed to SWASCO to immediately take an action and resolve the ongoing water quality issues.
So chitulomba tulomba SWASCO kuti babikire mano kupenza erya menda lya tulwana mazuba wonsa talikira bonandi.
We appeal to SWASCO to urgently address the water issues affecting this community.
Arimwi ayinka so chitulomba kumrumende na gwinda mu mutabi wa SWASCO kwamba kuti eripenze bakwambane kuzanganya kambo abona sometimes ngama biro alenda batimenda tazi.
In recent weeks, cases of diarrhea and vomiting have been reported in several areas, particularly among children. Many residents suspect the brown dirty water could be the cause.
Amenda yazwa ya doti maningi. Amana menda yazwa ya alapa maningi kuchiswa muida yala doti maningi.
The water we receive is often dirty and has been linked to the stomach pains and other health concerns. Efforts to get a comment from SWASCO were unsuccessful, as calls to the company went unanswered. Helga Chibwe, Diamond News, Mazabuka district in Southern Province.
Residents of Kwama in Luena constituency of Western Province appealing to the government to build a health facility in the area. The nearest clinic is 20 kilometers away in an off-road, a journey they describe as dangerous, costly and sometimes deadly for the sick. Let's hear more.
Kwama, which is in Luwa constituency of Western Province, is a quiet rural village dotted with grass-thatched huts where daily life is shaped by farming and long walks to access basic services. The community says the absence of a nearby clinic forces them to travel on foot or by ox cart for hours, often in emergencies when time is critical. We're requesting for a clinic. Sometimes by the time we reach the one which is 20 kilometers away from here, the situation has already worsened. We just want a place close by where we can get help quickly. And since we have a school nearby, sometimes accidents happen there. That is why we need a clinic so that in case of such situations, a child can be rushed there, she said. More residents have aired their views. A clinic is really important here. Expectant mothers and the elderly suffer the most. The distance is too far, especially at night or during the rainy season. We ask the government to help us in that particular area of development. They believe that just as the government is constructing a classroom block, it can also consider building a health facility to serve the community.
We used to travel for about 20 to 30 kilometers to go and write grade 7 examination at the Sima. Because at this school we had no permanent structure, therefore we had no strong room. Now with this development which has come, this one by 3, it will help us a lot because people will now we will start writing from here. Starting this year, they will write their grade 7 examination at this school.
They say a clinic in Kwama would not only save lives, but also bring dignity and hope to a community determined to thrive despite the odds. Reporting for Diamond News in Luena constituency of Western Province, Christine Musole.
You're watching the live broadcast of the Diamond News Desk. We have an update of the weather and our editorial comment.
This is your Diamond Insight for tonight of understanding the Lungu family's legal step. The legal proceedings surrounding the funeral arrangements of former President Edgar Lungu continue to unfold in complex ways. While the Pretoria High Court recently ordered the release of his body for repatriation to Zambia, another matter has emerged, one that concerns who should preside over his funeral and burial. The Lungu family is seeking permission from the High Court of Appeal to challenge an earlier ruling that allows President Hakainde Hichilema to lead the proceedings. This request for permission is not the same as lodging a full appeal. It is instead a preliminary step in the legal process, one that determines whether the court will even hear the case again. For the layperson, think of this as asking to reopen a door that has already been closed. In some legal matters, especially those decided by higher courts, you cannot simply walk back in an appeal. You must first convince the court there is a valid reason to revisit the issue, whether because important facts were overlooked, a misinterpretation of the law occurred, or the matter raises significant public interest. If the High Court of Appeal grants this permission, the family can then file a formal appeal and argue why the ruling should be overturned. If the court denies it, the decision stands and the legal road effectively ends there. This stage is procedural, meaning the court is not yet weighing in on who is right or wrong. It is merely deciding if the case deserves to be heard again. For the Lungu family, this is an opportunity to argue that their request is about honoring the late president's stated wishes, not about political rivalry. For the public, it is a moment to understand that legal disputes often unfold in steps, that each step serves a distinct purpose. The permission stage exists to prevent the courts from being overwhelmed by appeals that lack merit, while still allowing important issues to get a second hearing. Right now, the family stands at one of those legal checkpoints, making the case that this matter deserves another round of scrutiny. As things stand, the body of former President Lungu remains in legal limbo, caught between a court ruling, a pending application for appeal, and a family determined to have a say in his final rights. Until the High Court of Appeal makes its decision, there will be no burial, no closure for the family, and no end to the political and emotional tensions surrounding this matter.
Business News is brought to you by Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank. Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank, making tomorrow possible.
Good evening. You're watching the Diamond Newsdesk at 8. Now let's take a look at stories that are making business headlines this evening. CSPR, CTPD split over copper concentrate export duty. We also see how maize traders in Chinsali hit by price drop. Later on, we'll see the Kwacha's performance on the international market, and we'll close it off by taking a look at the commodity prices. Stay tuned. Good evening once again with the business news details. My name is Tapiwa Ngoma. Our first story this evening, the Civil Society for Poverty Reduction has questioned the government's 3-month suspension of export duty on copper concentrates, warning it would and could weaken revenue collection and undermine long-term mining sector goals. Executive Director Isabel Mkelebai says the timeline's basis is unclear and called for independent verification of mineral stockpiles and values, citing risks of under declaration. With copper prices at about $9,500 per ton, she argues there is already enough market incentive for production, warning the policy may strain the 2025 budget and erode investor confidence. However, the Center for Trade Policy and Development public finance researcher Robert Mwale has welcomed the move, saying it will boost exports, foreign exchange earnings, and mineral royalty revenues.
Following government's announcement that it would suspend export duty on copper concentrates for 3 months, reactions have been swift and divided. Authorities say the suspension is aimed at easing production bottlenecks and unlocking mineral exports. The Zambia Chamber of Mines, which lobbied for the measure, says the move will help clear stockpiles caused by limited smelter capacity Chief Executive Officer Sokwani Chilembo says that these stockpiles have tied up working capital and slowed exports, reducing foreign exchange earnings for the country.
At smelting and refining capacity. So we will seek this kind of recourse when that situation arises, because it only makes business sense in that circumstance to have the ore flow rather than having it stockpile and then having it contribute negatively to the overall economic situation.
But the Civil Society for Poverty Reduction has voiced concern. Executive Director Isabel Mukelabai says it is unclear why the suspension is limited to 3 months and is calling for independent verification of mineral stockpiles and values to prevent underdeclaration.
We think that it would be important to have audit-ready data on stockpiles by the mentioned mines and a third-party validation of mineral content and value. Without these measures, allowing for exporting concentrates could enable understated valuations or mispricing, reducing government revenue and undermining policy goals around local beneficiation and tax mobilization.
Others, like the Center for Trade Policy and Development, see the suspension as a positive step. Public finance researcher Robert Mwale says it will boost exports, improve foreign exchange inflows, and raise mineral royalty revenues in the short term.
The mining sector actually contributes 70% of our forex. So what you see then is that by doing that, by implementing a suspension or putting up a suspension, what you're actually doing is that you are boosting more likely the exports in terms of copper. And that boost in the export comes with the inflows in terms of foreign exchange, and that foreign exchange is more likely going to stabilize the currency as well as lead into further appreciation in terms of the currency. And what you're likely to see is that ultimately you are going to see that government in the process is likely to collect more revenue as well as have a stable currency and a boost in the foreign exchange reserves.
Whether the suspension boosts mining activity or dents public revenue, its impact will be felt well beyond the 3 months, shaping policy decisions in the mining sector for years to come. Rachel Mumba for Diamond News.
Maize traders in Chinsali are reporting a slowdown in business following the increase in supply that has pushed prices down from between 25 kwacha and 35 kwacha per gallon, with traders selling at 10 kwacha less than usual. Trader Esnat Chanda says the market has been tough, with only a few customers buying the commodity. She attributes the slump to the ongoing marketing season, during which most households have stocked up on maize. In contrast, hammer mill operators are enjoying increased business as more consumers opt to process the grain. While the lower prices and abundant supply may be a relief for consumers, traders are struggling to keep up sales.
It is that time of the year when most households have stocked up maize. The high supply works to the disadvantage of maize traders, who are now experiencing a slowdown in business. From 45 kwacha, a gallon has a price reduction to 25 and 30 kwacha. And although this might be seen to be beneficial to consumers, traders like Esnat are struggling to make sales. This being a marketing season, most households are stocked up with enough maize. This is why even our clientele base has reduced. We don't make that much sales. Currently for a gallon, which is a 5 liters container, it is going at 25 to 30 kwacha. So you can see the reduction is too much compared to previously when we used to sell at 45 kwacha. For hammer mills, this is a time to cash in. Daily sales have increased to nearly 1,000 kwacha, and electricity stability has played a significant role.
Business has stabilized, not only because of the marketing season, but also because we have seen stability in electricity supply. We are receiving quite a number of clients. Even our sales have also gone up. Cecilia Kayampro, Koso Diamond News, Chinsali Mchinga Province.
We still have more in business as we now take a look at the money markets. Your money markets this evening will show you the kwacha's trade against the USD as businesses did come to a close earlier today. We'll start off with the buying power of the USD at 23 kwacha 13 ngwe, and it is selling at 23 kwacha 57 ngwe as of 11th August 2025. These rates are brought to you by the Zambia National Commercial Bank. Let's shift our attention now and see the construction commodity prices. The construction commodity prices this evening brought to you by the Zambia National Building Society. A closer look here does show our first item this evening. This is a concrete mixer, and this will cost you about 4,667 kwacha. It does come in handy as you are constructing that dream home. Our second item this evening is one that you may be familiar with, used a lot. It's a drywall steel finishing wood handle plastering trowel. This will cost you nothing above 430 kwacha. Grab yourself one of these and be that handy person at home. Those are construction commodity prices. Let's now see what our food and non-food items do look like. The commodity prices, starting with our food items this evening. 1 kg of beef at 110 kwacha on average, 2 kg of sugar between 67 and 70 kwacha. 1 kg of the same commodity is going for nothing more than 37 kwacha. 5 kg of Nakonde rice, the lowest price you'll find it at is 175 kwacha. 2.5 liters of cooking oil, nothing more than 180 kwacha, while your standard 25 kg bag of breakfast milli meal will cost you nothing more than 310 kwacha. Stay where you are. Your non-food items look a little something like this, starting with 10 rolls of toilet paper at 85 kwacha. We've seen this price maintained for the longest time. 175 grams of toothpaste, nothing more than 40 kwacha. 500 grams of washing powder, between 40 and 45 kwacha. Let's close it off with 3.5 kg of washing powder. That'll cost you the low price of 220 kwacha. These altogether are your commodity prices. And that brings us to the end of our business news this evening. Thank you so much. You might want to stay tuned because after a few commercial breaks, I will be back giving you what's making headlines in construction news. Stay tuned.
Business News was brought to you by Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank. Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank, making tomorrow possible.
It's me again, this time around back with construction news brought to you by Chilanga Cement. Our stories this evening: construction of early childhood hub progresses in Chelenge, and we also look at Infratel donating ablution block to Ntasa Primary School. The details do follow as we look at the first story this evening. Construction of an early childhood education hub at Shanyemba Primary School in Chelenge has reached the Kimbo stage, with roofing works yet to begin. School authorities say that once completed, the facility is expected to boost learner confidence and performance. Head teacher Lakson Katuta noted that the school's results have been poor over the years, mainly due to the absence of early childhood education.
The Zambia Enhancing Early Learning Project is funded by $39.01 million from the Global Partnership for Education Fund. It's the first big push to improve early childhood education in Zambia, giving children a strong start before they go to primary school. The World Bank is looking after the money as the grant agent. In Buwonchelenge in Wapula Province, building of the Early Childhood Education ECE hub at Shanyamba Primary School has moved forward, and the walls are now up, ready for the roof.
When we had no ECE, more especially here in rural areas, we used to find a big challenge for those pupils that were entering school. They had no background knowledge of education. But with the coming of this project, I think by the time these children will be entering grade 1, they will have some basic knowledge in education.
The site supervisors explained what work is left and when the building should be finished.
The contract is for 6 months. The 6 months if you kuwamo muri one by one class, muri a office, mwabana pakulala abana, mwabana mwakwipikira, mwakusungira efyakulya. Pero twasa kwata na toilet twaba toma children, pero twasa kwata na staff toilet umo mukala sangwa abana banono ro nabakalamba ma toilet.
But there is a problem. The pay for community members working on the project is too little for the amount of work. Many have down tools before the job is done.
Pia tufola mkwai pasla butu batupere 1.1 na 64. Twasa konkanya pokabiru kwimye chibumba pa window level baishire tupera 998. Na twisa konkanya okupuisha mukaibeshire tupera 600. Namba mukuirishanya kwandi fonde irishanya pamwangana tushabana na abalumi pamayanda umpia shireche pamukwaisha batupera. Namanga chakuchira chibatu batupera ishikuna naba nensu bonse botwalina bena panga tabali ko kubombe nchito mukwani.
Locals say unless this is sorted out, the school might not be finished on time and the children will miss out on the better start that they were promised. Kalombeka Pambwe, Diamond News.
More in construction news. Infratel Corporation Limited has handed over a 2x3 ablution block in Ntasa Primary School in Kapiriposhi District to help address sanitation challenges faced by both pupils and teachers, especially girls. Speaking during the handover ceremony, Infratel Chief Executive Officer Dr. Evans Silavwe said the facility is designed to cater to the school's growing population and improve hygiene standards. He added that supporting communities where the company operates is central to Infratel's corporate social responsibility and urged residents to take ownership of the new facility. Kapiriposhi District Commissioner Francis Hasalama, in a speech read on his behalf by District Agriculture Coordinator Rebecca Kapembwa, commended Infratel for the gesture and encouraged other stakeholders to emulate the corporation.
Ntasa Primary School, located in the heart of Kapiriposhi District, has for years relied on a single ablution block shared by both male and female pupils. The school, which caters for 370 learners from primary to junior secondary level, has now received a much-needed boost in sanitation infrastructure. Thanks to Infratel, a new 2x3 ablution block has been constructed to improve hygiene at the facility. Speaking during the handover ceremony, Infratel Chief Executive Officer Dr. Evans Silavwe said the company is committed to working closely with Ntasa Primary to uplift the lives of learners, describing the project as the beginning of a long-term friendship.
This partnership can only grow as we bring more services to the school, and the school takes care of these services. Then we are able to progress together, elevate the learners, elevate the teachers, and ensure that as they learn, they have the same experience that urban children have in their learning experience and learning programs. So we are very, very happy to be here and to be a part of Ntasa's development from the early stages. We believe all these places are going to be developed.
In a speech delivered on behalf of Kapiriposhi District Commissioner, he expressed gratitude to Infratel for its support and urged parents to ensure children attend school, noting that such infrastructure is vital for quality education.
I'd like to encourage you parents here that we have our partners here who are ready to help us, and they are ready to help our children. From what we've seen, our company here is ready to give us things like the toilets, and they've promised us that they are here with us and they are able to grow this community and this school.
And Ntasa primary head teacher and pupils expressed joy at the new facilities, stressing the positive impact they have, particularly for the girl child.
Grateful to the Infratel Corporation Limited for the construction of 2x3 ablution facilities for our learners. This has truly come at the right time when the learners were in need of the toilet.
The building of the 2 ablution blocks will improve good health and sanitation in our school. Thank you so much, Infratel, for your provision in this area.
I'm happy because we can't use some toilets with boys. So it's very good.
Meanwhile, community representatives pledged to maintain high standards of sanitation at the school while calling on Infratel to continue supporting development initiatives in the area.